Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got Matt with me. Bear with me. I'm sick right now, so we'll just leave it at that. That's why I sound completely horrific. But today we have a variety of things that we're going to go over. From the Phoenix Coyotes to the Blackhawks to Ottawa, the Brady Tkachuck situation, some Devils news, and captains and holding out, because there's a few stars. Well, one potential star and another star holding out. Two stars actually, somewhat holding out. But we're going to get started right from the get-go. Patrick Kane made a statement that he didn't know anything about the sexual assault allegations at the time. This is his word. And the reason I bring this up is because Nick Boynton mentioned that everybody in the locker room knew what was happening. And Patrick Kane is saying that's not the case. Taser said that wasn't the case as well, because I don't know if you remember, Matt, he mentioned that he didn't find out about it until the following training camp year. And this is one of those things where you can't just say blanket statements like everybody knew about it, because you don't know who knew about what, or who was paying attention, or what have you. What I will say is that I am looking for some kind of accountability from the Blackhawks coming up, man. There has to be something. They mentioned that they were going to be very forthgiving with the information and the investigation. And to be honest with you, there's been crickets out of Danny Wirtz's office. I haven't heard anything from the guy. It kind of gives you the impression that maybe they're looking for it to blow over somewhat, but maybe that's not the case. How do you feel about the pace of the investigation so far? Do you think that they're really burning on it, trying to get it solved, or do you think they're kind of just giving it a slow burn?
Yeah, I think they're just being patient. And they're waiting for everything to come out before, making up something that could be wrong coming out. I mean, it's a freaking horrible situation. And back to Kane, I believe him. Maybe he didn't know, because I know in 2010, if I'm on the Blackhawks, I'm focused on one thing: the Stanley Cup. And guess what? They all won the cup. And, maybe Nick Boynton and Brent Sopel could say that everybody knew, but you know what? You can't speak for everybody. You can't. But as far as this investigation, I hope all this stuff comes out before the season starts so they can move on, do their thing, and let's focus back on hockey, because that's the main thing here. I want to watch the Hawks play hockey. I don't want to talk about any more negative crap. Let's get going here.
Well, yeah, let's get it resolved. I mean, that's what I really want. I want it to get resolved,
mostly for the other family too,
right?
The college family
and the player as well.
Yeah,
I'm
sure. I mean, just let's figure it out for this guy. Bring the people to whatever you're gonna do. Are you gonna file is there gonna be a criminal offense here or what? Like, let's get it going. And these people want answers, and you know what? The fans do too. But
I think they all deserve them too. The fans and the
parents. Yeah, exactly. The parents of that young kid too. But you know what? Unfortunately, a lot of people are pointing fingers just at the Blackhawks and not the guy actually responsible for doing these crimes. That guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah. And
they don't say that enough.
Yeah.
Aldrich. They don't. You never hear about him. They hear the Blackhawks did this and that. No, this guy was a scumbag. So we need to call him out on his bullshit more too.
Yeah, that's a good point. He was prosecuted, and he was prosecuted for, what was it? Indecent something with a kid already.
Yeah.
So he's already a registered sex offender. So I don't know if there's like a hunt for justice when this has already happened, or are they just coming after the organization because they believe that he enabled them in the way. And if that's the case, what does everybody want? Do they want everybody fired because the person responsible for it isn't there anymore? A lot of people that were there in the senior leadership, they're not there anymore. The only people that are left are McIsaac and Bowman, and people first, everybody wants
want him
this
gone,
to go at Bowman's feet. And to be honest with you, man, what does Danny Wirtz, like, what is his motivation for keeping Stan Bowman?
I think this is Rocky, honestly, though, man. I think
keeping him.
This happened under Rocky's watch.
Well, actually, well, here's the thing, and actually, this is something that needs to be stressed very, very strongly, is that Rocky Wirtz does absolutely nothing with the running of the team. He has people do it. He's just the owner. He shows up to games, watches games. He gets a report on the money that's being made. That is it. He makes no personnel decisions. He gives that previously, he gave that responsibility to John McDonough. John McDonough was fired last year, so they split his position into two positions. And one of them Stan Bowman has, and I forgot the other woman's name, the new woman.
Oh, the one they just hired.
Yeah. And she talk about walking into a bad situation, but
nothing to do with her. That was a decade ago.
Nothing to do with her at all. Yeah, right. So this is what I mean, is that Rocky is off. He has nothing to do with this, as a smart businessman would be. But so Danny Wirtz is in there now. He is the CEO of the team. What is his drive for keeping Stan Bowman, considering this thing is going on, the entire fandom? If you look on Twitter, everybody wants Stan Bowman fired.
I wanted Stan fired after 2010.
Everybody is calling for his job.
And it had nothing to do with this case. It had everything to do with his team breaking his team up. So, I mean, yeah.
So is it going to get to a point, or are the Blackhawks going to see that that Stan Bowman, just him being there, him being tied to this to these allegations, is going to keep the cloud over the organization?
Well, it's an Olympic thing too. They don't even want him to be the Olympic
I didn't even get
GM.
into that yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. They don't even now. I think a group, a kids abuse group, recommended he be taken off the board, or his position be removed.
The general manager, yeah.
But I gotta jump back a little bit here. So, I mean, I'm not an expert in law here, but if a police report was filed at the time, this guy would never be able to get a job ever again.
Right.
Because I've been a coach since 2006. I have to get a background check, fingerprint tested every single season I coach. So there's a lot of things that they failed with. Because, I mean, technically, I don't know, the NHL, it's USA Hockey. It's the NHL. You should be getting background checked. You should be getting screened. And if this was, they should have filed a police report when this happened. And I know, what was the strength and conditioning coach? Was it Goodman?
No, it was Paul Vincent.
Vincent, okay. He said we need to file a police report.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the skills coach, Paul Vincent.
Didn't he recommend that? Yes. So that was the right thing to do.
Right.
And they didn't do it. So this clown got hired by another school with no. But here, if he would have filed that police report and this idiot tried to apply or get a recommendation, that background check would have came up, he abused somebody, and they wouldn't hire him. He wouldn't even get a job at Burger King with this. And I think this is where the Hawks screwed up with. If they would have done the right thing right away and not try to hide it and push it under the rug, we wouldn't be in this mess now.
Yeah, it's such an original, position, because they're probably weighing, are they legally liable for filing that complaint? I think that the player responsibility would have been to file that complaint, and then from that point the Hawks could be like, oh, we got this complaint against you, we're going to investigate you, we find out it's true, we're going to fire you. Because you can't just fire somebody just to fire somebody. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard to fire somebody.
Yeah, there needs to be a, that complaint against you. It needs to be proven true. And then from that point, they can fire him. So I think that's what they were looking for. And who knows? Maybe in the investigation, they asked the player, hey, are you willing to file a police report on this? Maybe he said, no, I'm not. That's like, okay, well, we can't fire the guy if we don't have the evidence here to do this.
Exactly. So this is why I think the Hawks are being quiet with stuff.
Right.
Maybe they have record
and that's not what the fans want.
No, they want answers now.
Well, because the problem is that there's a difference between believing what is right and, having it from like a moral standpoint than when you get into an organization and in doing these things and enacting them, because you can't just outwardly fire somebody just because of, they're accused of something.
Well, it's like what we talked about with Kane,
right.
Evander Kane.
Right.
Like we both, honestly, if we both just read the article of Evander Kane was betting, we'd both jump all over it and say, wow, that piece of shit got caught. And stuff is coming out now, and it seems like he's going to be innocent now. And
right.
he didn't do that. And it's like, that's you're reacting with emotion instead of waiting for truth. So that's what's kind of hopefully going on with the Hawks, and hopefully we get to the freaking bottom of it soon, because I'm ready to. I want to be in the playoffs again. I'm ready for this playoff hockey. I want to see the Hawks back up at the top, and I want to get rid of this dark cloud, and we got some exciting new players. We finally we're kind of rebuilding on the fly, I guess you could call it. We got some good young guys. We got some good pieces we just added, and it's exciting.
It is. It is. I mean, I hate talking about this stuff, because I just want it over with, and I want the people responsible, taken care of, to be honest.
I just want that guy from TSN to just move on with his life, because he's made the whole Blackhawks, bashing the Blackhawks his whole life.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Rick Westhead.
Yeah, it's like you're a sports writer, and man, you should have been a criminal investigation journalist, because Jesus, man.
Yeah, maybe he should be out there solving murders.
Jeez, you should be on like Making a Murderer, like finding out like why he did it. This guy is like a 100% anti-Blackhawk.
Yeah, he is. He'll throw out a hit piece here and there, but I don't know. Whatever.
That's cool.
It's his thing.
Do your thing, bud.
I mean, he does put out some good information, and he obviously does have his sources, but it's like, look, you don't need to put out the same article every 3 days, looking for accountability.
Oh my God, yes. It's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's old.
Moving on. The Phoenix Coyotes are going to go back to their Kachina logo full time, which everybody is going to love. It's such an old school, how do you say, it just brings you back into the feels of old times. Yeah, it's vintage now. It's funny. Their logo now is actually pretty clean. Their uniforms are pretty clean, and normally that's a good way to go. But for some reason, their Kachina, their whole Kachina thing, man, it just works for Arizona for some reason. I just get this feeling from it, and it's really cool that they're going to be going back to it. Their old, their jerseys are really cool, and I'm really excited for it. I'm sure that.
So, what player would you buy?
What player would I buy?
You'd buy Phil Kessel's, wouldn't you?
No, I'd start off with Jeremy Roenick's.
No, current player.
Oh,
You'd buy Phil Kessel.
Oh, okay. Current player.
Phil Kessel with hot dog stained mustard spots on the front of the jersey.
Honestly, I might go with Nick Schmaltz.
Is he on the team?
I'm pretty sure he is.
I don't think so.
Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure he is.
I think he's been bouncing over a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. Nick Schmaltz. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't even think he's in the NHL anymore, man.
Wow. I'm going to have to take that back then.
What about an old Mike Smith?
Smith? No. He is. He played 52 games last year.
With the Yotes?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good for him.
52, 70 the year before. Maybe we can trade him for Dylan Strome for Nick Schmaltz.
Or get Brandon Saad back. Why not make it 3 times?
How the hell are we going to trade Dylan Strome for Saad? For Saad?
Oh, St. Louis. I'm just saying we trade for the same players a lot.
Oh yeah.
Bring back Andrew Ladd. He's over there too.
He's in the his contract's bouncing around in the AHL right now, buried in the AHL.
Yeah.
That's too bad, man. He was such a great player. After he signed that contract with Brooklyn, though, he just went completely down the drain.
Yeah, poor guy. He was awesome in 2010.
Yeah, he was. He was good for the
Bolin. Loved that line.
Yeah, he was really good for the Hurricanes too.
Yeah, he was. He was a rookie when they won the Cup that year.
Right.
I think him and Cam Ward came up together.
Yeah, they did.
Good friends.
And also on Phoenix News, they put in a $1.7 billion proposal to build an arena in Tempe, Arizona. So we'll see how that goes. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe have some attractions to bring some fans in. Build it and they will come type of a thing.
I don't know, man. I doubt it. I mean, Shane Doan is, his family is only so big.
He's the one putting up all the money.
He's a scout too, and I think they just drafted his son.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Yeah, we want to draft another donor.
Right. And we also got the Blackhawks signed Nolan Allen to a 3-year entry-level contract, $875,000, I believe. I watched the prospect game between Minnesota and the Blackhawks the other day, Friday. I didn't watch Sunday. And Lukas Reichel looked pretty good, man. I don't think he's ready for the big game yet, but he looked pretty good. He looked pretty quick. He looked pretty defensively responsible. And I saw him pick somebody's pocket and try to set up Colton Dach for a shot. And Colton Dach was playing pretty well too. He looked like he was out there trying to make an impression, and I can appreciate that. But he looked pretty good.
I think Theo Fox was raving about Allen in his latest article
on Nolan Allen.
Yeah, and Theo Fox, if you guys want to find a good beat writer, that guy's one of the best. Hockey Buzz, Theo Fox. Very good.
I've actually got an article of his ready, queued up that I'm going to read probably right after this podcast. Good. But let's talk about the Brady Tkachuck situation. Now, this kid, he's a good player. He's been in the league for like 2 or 3 years now. And I don't believe that he should be sitting out for a contract. Or he's threatening to sit out. His dad sat out for a contract. Matthew Tkachuck sat out for a contract. It's looking like he might sit out for a contract too. Matthew Tkachuck actually commented on the contract talks recently himself, saying that it's a family affair, him negotiating getting this contract. And he's played 3 seasons. He's never scored over 25 goals. Never win over 45 points. And he's sitting out looking for a contract, and he's been a minus player his entire career. Now, yes, he is playing for Ottawa.
Rebuilding Ottawa.
Rebuilding Ottawa, right. But
he's the main piece.
You can't be sitting out like saying you're a superstar when you haven't scored over 50 points in a season. Because these aren't draw dropping numbers. 22 goals, 23 assists in his rookie campaign, 21 goals, 23 assists next season, and then in the shortened 56 game season, 17 goals, 19 assists. So he was doing better.
Yeah, he's a 20 goal guy. Yeah,
but
he's an average goal scorer.
But you can't be sitting out for that.
I'd give him 8 times 8 and
really?
Make it easier. Yes, I would. I give him 8 times 8. He's going to be the future. He's going to be the man here.
A 20 goal scorer being the future of the team.
Oh, dude, Brady Tkachuck. I think he's better than his brother, and he could be better than his brother. You just give him. You build a team around him. He's going to be a stud. I think it would be cheaper to give him 8 now for 8, but I don't think Brady wants long term. I think Brady wants shorter term with high money as well. And
I mentioned the reason behind that in the last podcast, if you didn't get a chance to hear it, is because the salary cap is going to be going up, obviously, over the next few years. Next 4 years, it's going to go up. The next 4 years, I believe, it's going to go up $1 million a year. And then on that 5th year, it's going to go up $5 million. So it's going to go up about $10 million within the next 5 years. when the cap gets that 5 million boost, you're going to see a lot of guys who are looking to hit free agency that year because the contracts, the salaries are going to go through the roof. It happened with the NFL. It happened with the NBA. Big time. We had regular guys in the NBA signing contracts for $25 million a year for 5 years. Regular Joes. The main guys, big guys, are making $50 million a year. Just to give it a little bit of context. So McDavid's contract, I caught myself. Matthews' contract, Marner's contract. These contracts are going to look pretty nice in the next 4 years. So maybe you're right. Maybe that $8 million won't be so bad.
That'll be a bargain.
It'll be like 4 years from now. But I'd like to see him scoring at least 35 goals for that kind of money.
I think he could. They're doing it right down there, or up there. I'm sorry. They are. They got Shabbat. They got. They're drafting well. They're stockpiling, and from what I've heard from fans, even Maple Leafs fans, they had a hard time with that team last year. They had facing them. They said they were competitive. They're kind of like Nashville. They're just not a lot of skill, but they're hard to play against, and they give them time, let them get older, and let them build more, and they're going to be a good team.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
So we got Tarasenko holding out. We got Jack Eichel. They're both reporting to. I'm not holding out. They're both reporting to their teams, but they're looking for trades. Now that makes it kind of awkward a little bit, saying you don't want to be there. I think they're both wearing a letter, and they're both on. Reporting to camp. As players, do you think players are like, hey, it's just part of the game, whatever, or are they like, man, you're not here. You don't believe in what we're doing here. We don't want you in the locker room.
50-50 in the locker room.
Yeah. So that'll definitely divide the locker room then.
Well, Ryan O'Reilly says it's not a big deal, but Ryan O'Reilly pulled the same crap.
Yeah, he did.
He pulled the same crap. He didn't want to be in Colorado. He wanted to go to Buffalo.
Times.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a big deal to him because in the end, they're out for themselves, most of them. And it seems like I'm not sure what Sanko's issue is.
Probably hates St. Louis.
I'm not sure. I don't get it. He won a Stanley Cup there. He's gonna never have to buy himself a beer in that town ever again.
Right.
He's a dynamic forward. He's having trouble, staying healthy. But I haven't heard a reason why he wants to go. Is he unhappy with his line or his role? Nothing. Eichel, we understand, is the whole neck thing. But he's going to report to camp too. And what I don't get is, okay, you're complaining about your neck. If you're injured, why are you reporting to camp? That's what I'm unsure about. And if I'm a young Buffalo Sabre that just got drafted, or I've been drafted just, in previous years, and I'm trying to make the team, and this guy's wearing the C and he's been trashing the organization, I'd be like, you know what, man? Stay home. We don't want you here. That's me though. I'm old school.
He'd probably tell you something like, score 30 goals in a year, then you can fucking talk to me.
You're probably right, and he could. But I'd be like, dude, all summer you've been whining about wanting to get traded.
Yeah.
Whining about your neck. And what happened? Did you jump in like magic water and your neck doesn't hurt anymore? So you're coming to camp. So you're fine, or are you hurt?
He might just be showing up to be a part of the team, because he is still a member of the team.
It's about the dinero, brother, man.
You think so? Yeah, he won't get paid unless he shows up.
Yeah, he wants his cash, but
I don't blame him.
$10 million a year. Yeah, I'm gonna freaking be the first one at the door.
I will too. I'll be freaking mopping in that place if I had to.
But I'm not gonna be all buddy with the guy. Like, hey man, really? Even the GM Kevin Adams, like,
yeah.
Why don't you say, hey man, you know what? Stay home. We're gonna try to move you, and we don't want this to. It's gonna be a circus all season with that team. It's not going to be about hockey, and they're going to take the spotlight off some of these good young prospects they might have.
And you know what, man, that's the GM should have been working this. Kevin Adams should have been working this from the get-go.
I'm sure he has, though, but it's difficult.
He shouldn't be. He's in a bind. He's in a bind. Your superstar wants out. You're not going to win. Look at what happened with Seth Jones and Adam Boqvist. I don't care what anybody says. Adam Boqvist isn't half the player that Seth Jones is. But they had to trade him. They had to because he wanted out. He said that he wasn't going to re-sign there. Meaning that if they did not trade him, he was going to walk for nothing.
Well, they learned their lesson with Panarin and Bobrovsky in previous years. You lost two elite studs for nothing.
For nothing.
And I applaud them with that. They got it done. And guess what? We're focused on the draft. We're going to build now. I don't want to be talking about this all season. Or like Pierre-Marc, what's his name?
Marc Dubois.
That was their whole season. That overshadowed everything.
Yeah, it did.
And Nick Foligno was pissed off. He was the captain.
Yeah.
He's like, this is ridiculous. We're here to play hockey. Please stop, And they
kept
learned.
on asking him.
They learned from that. They got rid of Jones. They got Boqvist. Some people say he's
too.
Well, Foligno, yeah. And he's a little bit older, and they're going to rebuild. They're starting from scratch. They had like 4 first-round picks, I think. And I like the GM, Jarmo Kekalainen or whatever his name is. And I like John Davison as the president. He left the Rangers with all that Wilson crap, but I like him too. He's a hockey guy, knows his stuff.
But back to Buffalo, man.
That's what they need to do. I was just going to say, you need to take a page out of the Blue Jackets book here and get it done before you start so you can focus on your team.
100%. Look, you don't have leverage here. Your player does, and you're screwed because he wants to leave. You get a good package for him, but you can't be asking for the world, like one superstar, another second liner, and like 4 first-round draft picks.
I'd ask for 2 first-round picks, a prospect. That's it. That's all. That's the best you're going to do because, you're not going to.
Well, that becomes dependent
you're going
on the
to
team,
lose
though.
the trade. You're going to lose the trade no matter what. Just don't lose as much.
Right. Man,
there's not a lot of options. Who's going to take a $10 million contract with a guy who you don't know? Is his neck okay or not? That's what they need to find out. I've been hearing the Ducks and the Kings. I mean, who else can take them? There's not a lot of teams with salary cap space. I mean, we can jump back to Ottawa. Hey, maybe he wants to play with Brady Tkachuck. That'd be pretty sick, actually.
He needs a sniper.
I think Brady could be one. I think Brady could do it all.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He's just really young. I think he's too young to be
He'll get there. I think we're going to learn a lot about Brady in the Olympics, and we're going to be like, thank God he's American.
So moving on, Travis Zajac retires under a 1-day contract with the Devils. I think that's pretty cool. 15-year career in the league. Congratulations. You lived your dream. Did he win a cup?
I don't think so. I think he played in that final the 1 year. The Devils played the Kings, I think.
When did they play the Kings?
Was that 2012 when they faced? It was Quick versus Brodeur in the final.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I think it was.
Okay. I think I'd remember. I love watching the Devils.
He kind of reminded me of a Taser. I thought he was pretty.
He was solid, man. I mean, he was probably a how do you say, a really undercover, like superstar. He was really good in his own end, and he contributed offensively. I thought he was really good.
Parise left. That was it for him.
Yeah, that's what really. It just went downhill after that.
Prime Parise left.
Right.
Yes. That hurt him a lot.
Big time. And you know what? They lost that leadership. And speaking of leadership, Artemi Panarin has notified the New York Rangers he does not want to be a captain. I give him credit for that because it's really cool. I think it's a really big honor to be a captain of a hockey team, of an NHL franchise.
Original 6 too. Yeah.
Huge responsibility. And he just wants to go out there and shoot lights out every night. And, that's respectable. which really goes in to show what is leadership. A lot of teams these days are just giving the captainship to their franchise, the future guy, and maybe that future guy isn't a leader, and they need to better assess who the leadership is going to be for that team.
Jack Eichel. Sorry, excuse
me. Who's a good example of this is Detroit. It took them, it took them a little while to decide who the captain was going to be. To be honest with you, I thought it was really drawn out. I think it was really, really evident that Dylan Larkin was going to be the captain. He was drafted from them, and he's been with them for forever, and he's been leading the charge. I don't know why they wouldn't just name him the captain outright, but it's all good. What about you, Matt? What do you think about leadership and naming the captain, and the trend of just giving it to the
superstar?
Yeah, to the kid, to the superstar kid that is surrounded by a solid supporting cast.
Well, not everybody is wired to be a captain. I think Vinny LeCavalier, when he was young, they gave him the captain. And he bombed it. Like, he was bad. They ended up taking it off him because he was, he wasn't ready. When I think of a good leader as a kid, obviously, you got Stevie Y was one of the best. I mean, there are so many inspirational videos of him just doing the little things and, pep talking his team, just patting everybody on the back, even not saying a word, just follow my lead on the ice. And Joe Sakic was another one. Even Taves, we all know he's one of the best captains in NHL history. But nothing wrong with what Panarin says or what he's doing. I mean, he says, I don't know English. It's hard, or it's a lot of off-ice responsibility, and I'm not up for it, and I can't give it 100%. And I really respect that, because some guys, get that C thrown in their face, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's mine. Oh, this is great. And then they realize, wow, this is really hard. Like, I got guys dogging it, and I got to let them know they're dogging it. And I don't want to be that guy, And
you got to step up to them.
Yeah.
We're talking about grown men.
I got to challenge the coach and, hey, coach, this is not working, man. This is not working. We got to change it. And now I'm in the middle of him. So it's not for everybody. Some guys are wired different. So I think what he's doing, there's nothing wrong with that at all, and I admire that. I mean, he's honest. I don't know English, he says, and I don't feel comfortable speaking to the media. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And we've seen Panarin play with Kane. It was probably one of the best, like, tandem, or what do you call them, like lines we've ever seen. Yeah. Like, these guys were scoring almost every shift. It felt like. I mean, Kane got the heart because of him. Yeah, that's how good he is. So, you put him out there.
And Panarin also got a reputation because of Kane, though, as well.
Well, they helped each other out.
If he would have started off in Columbus, I don't think that he would be the superstar he is today.
No, but I mean, you put him with anybody, he's going to make you better. He made every single player on the ice with him better. I mean, even Jones was better with him. I mean, Bobrovsky was better. I mean, just the guy's a stud. He's just he'll be top 5 in points every season, and he's gonna do his job that way. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Do you got anything else, man, you want to throw in?
No, I mean, I think I just saw something about Nolan Patrick he was one of the last guys. Well, he's like the last guys on the list holding out. Vegas signed him 2.4, I think, for 2 years. I actually like that kid. I know he was on Philly. He had some, I think he had like a headache. Headache issues he's been having his whole career. He's still young.
Brutal.
But I think that he's going to fit well with this team, the way he plays. He kind of had a breakout year last year, and I think Philly was just done with all, like, the injuries. They just don't want to deal with them anymore. But I like to see. I'm rooting for him to have a good season.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in once again. We appreciate it. Give us a follow on Twitter, Mike Pre57. We got Matt Mateo Ryback, and at Tomahawk Chicago. send us a message. Let us know what's up. We got a lot more news coming up. Things are going to start getting going. Dog days are over. Dog days of summer are over. And the hockey season, training camps are going to be starting this week. And then before you know it, we're going to be talking about games. And we're going to be having interviews coming up. We're going to be having a lot of collaborations with other podcasts. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned and be sure to check us out. Each week we're going to be dropping them. So let us know what you guys think. This is the Tomahawk. We're out of here.